it's Tiff back with another Creative Flow video. If you're not sure what the Creative Flow videos are about, it's a collaboration with myself and Happily We Go, Erin, and we have to pick out 3 items out of the Flowist journal to use in our project. The only thing I know is that I want to do an acrylic face today because it's something I want to continue to work on. So if you're just joining me for the first time about the Creative Flow, this is a bi-monthly collaboration that we've been doing for quite some time now, and this will be the very last Creative Flow video. So why not go out with a bang? This is a much longer video than I typically prefer, but I'm going to get right down to the pace, and we're going to do a journal page in this hymnal that I have used as an altered book, and I'm just getting a really loose idea about where I would like the head to be and making some scribbles. I call this activating the energy within the page. And so I've got all of those beautiful, delicious pieces from the flow, and I'm just kind of doing a trial and kind of deciding what I like and what I really enjoying. So this very fun, funky, stenciled inky background that I have here is going to give us an interesting challenge because I already know that the ink is going to move within the piece. So I thought this would be kind of cool to try, and I'm just slapping it down with some gel matte medium and going in here and scraping it with my scraper tool and kind of getting that layered down for us. As you'll see, as I move the kind of glue and gel medium around, you will notice that some of that bronzy color is going to actually pick up and move around the page as we go through this. So as you can see here, kind of on the hymnal comes this light kind of orangey yellowy effect. So I'm going in here with clear gesso. Why clear gesso? Because I do not want the hymnal and the actual music in the background to fade away. If I was going to go in with a white or a gray or a black gesso, we would just be covering up all of the music and not really have it to play an interesting role in the background. And seeing as, well, you know how I roll, guys, I don't really know what's going to happen here. So why not go with a loose face? So what I'm showing you here is that I'm drawing it at the very back of the pencil, okay? And I'm using a charcoal pencil, and I'm just kind of getting some ever so light, very, very loose kind of, I guess, guideline as to what I'm going to be doing here. So, just kind of playing and figuring it out, and because I'm going in with charcoal, it's allowing me to be able to see it and kind of smudge it as I go through. And I will say that laying the journal directly onto the surface area brings its own challenges because you can't really see it. So as the video goes on, you'll see me kind of prop it up so I can look at it in a different light. And I'm just going in with some just very, very simple sketchy lines to kind of get a feel and an energy from this girl. Now looking back, I really kind of like her, and I will be doing another one where I don't really add a ton, but maybe some shadows and no real paint, because I really like how this looks when I get it done. So I think that would be a cool idea too. One of the goals and one of the things that I wanted to do though is I'm not very confident or comfortable with faces or with acrylics. So I would like to get better at the acrylics. The only way to do that though is to actually do it. So if you have something that you've been fearful to try, or you say, oh, I can't do that. We've all done that before, right? Say, oh, I can't do that. I'm not good at drawing, so I'm not going to do it. Well, I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can if you're willing to put in the work and try and practice and see where you can what you can make happen. So I'm going to go in here with some white gesso, just trying to take that the inky stencily bits into the background, and it's going to do something interesting. It's going to create a very bleedy greenish gray color with the charcoal, and I'm going in here with a brayer because I do like a kind of a wild and messy face, and I'm just going in there with a little bit of water. I wasn't sure what it was going to do, but it scared the pants out of me, so why not use that fear and try something that may just make a very cool, interesting thing. So I'm going in here with the woody pencil, and Stabilo woodies are water activated and can be treated like watercolors. They're pretty cool. So I'm just going in where some of the shadows would be on the face and the neck, and I'm going in here with those different colors because I thought it would be cool if she had some touches of greens and blues in her face, and I'm kind of going back and forth with those and just adding some of that. She's kind of looking like an alien now to me. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of gesso on my finger and just kind of bring back some of those highlights on the cheeks, around the nose area there, to try to create some type of depth. So I'm not by any means amazing at portraits or faces or acrylic paints, but it is something that I'm working to get better at, so that's why I kind of wanted to go out with this as my last creative flow. As I said before, it is a little bit longer of a video, so I hope that you make time to watch this and give me some input. And I'm going in here with a dry brush and just kind of, as you can see, making a mess. And then I'm going to go in here with that third element, or is that third? Second element? Yeah, this is second element. And I'm just going to add some of those colors to her hair. Now, you will notice that it is now dry. So I did leave, go to town, run errands. You know, life happens. And I kind of left her to dry, which is really good because when you're working with acrylics and you have a lot of layers going on, you kind of want those layers to dry before you go any further. And that's where I was here. So I'm going to go in with some titanium fluid acrylic golden paints, because all of that gesso was not really getting me any good highlights. It was more so just kind of making this green tint with the blues and the greens from the woody pencil. So I wanted to bring those very pretty highlights to the face back in, and so that's what I'm using the titanium white for. And I'm going in with my brayer just to create some interesting texture in the shadows and so forth. So I'm going crazy there with the old brayer. And that brayer, did y'all see that thing? That thing is a mess, child. It has all kinds of dried up paints and all kinds of crazy times. I'm going in with the charcoal again because all of these layers, I kind of lost the details, which is fine. It's going to happen, right? But I wanted to bring those back so I could just remember exactly where those features are supposed to go. And that's what I'm doing, is just going back in with the charcoal. And as you know, charcoal you can kind of smudge with your fingers and get some really fabulous blending and shading going on. And then I'm going to go in with the yellow ochre, and I'm just going into her cheeks and up under her nose, and just trying to get things going. I'm scraping and moving and seeing where I can make it happen. And then I'm going to go back in here with the white as that yellow ochre is still not super wet because it's a heavy body, but it's fairly wet, so it still kind of blends in with the titanium white and gives some pretty interesting effects there. That's a really nice color too. It's kind of a mustardy type color. And I'm going in there with some more of that ochre. Using my fingers because, well, they're God's tools and they gave them to me, so I might as well go ahead and use it. Alright, so now I felt like I needed to kind of see her as a person, and so that's where I'm going to add some inks. Um, Really fun way to spray the bottle and kind of see how the flow is going to go. I ended up having a problem with my water bottle there. So I grabbed my paintbrush and just kind of make it happen a little bit. And I'm wanting to keep some of the very cool texture and interest from the collage elements that we added from the flow. So I'm just kind of letting it drip and drop, but I'm not wanting to cover up all of those yummy collage bits that are going to be in the background. I'm going to go in here with, y'all are cringing because I just stuck my finger in the white gesso and it still had paint on it. But it's okay, guys. It's only paint. Not going to fret over a little red in your white because red in your white makes pink and pink is fabulous. So anyway, I'm just adding some little highlights to her hair and kind of getting a good feel for this girl and dabbing it up with a little bit of baby wipe and kind of making that fun. So, and then I'm going to wipe away some of the drips because it kind of got a little crazy for me. But going back in here and just working on those eyes again. Making sure her lips don't get lost. She needs some eyebrows. So I had to add her some eyebrows. And a little shading to that nose. And going in here with a blending stump. That's a good way to get some shadows cast in that area. And kind of make it a more three-dimensional piece. A blending stump is good. Very good for that. I'm going to go in here with a bit of a dry brush and I'm just going to kind of get that hair kind of blended in a little bit more instead of looking so splotchy. And hoop earrings. I'm a big earring kind of girl, so the hoops are fun. Going in here a little bit more with and I'm liking that the titanium white opposed to the gesso is not really absorbing that color, so it's actually kind of keeping it a nice white lighter tone, which was what I was going for. And then I'm just going to keep working back and forth. And I think this is one of the reasons I don't do a little faces is they're just kind of time consuming. And well, y'all know I go willy-nilly and just crazy, and I don't really like spending the time to do all that is necessary for the face. So a lot of times that's why I don't really do a ton of them. But you know, I really want to continue to grow, and I think you have to push yourself outside of your boundaries and your comfort zone to be able to grow in that way. So I'm just going to dry all of that inks and stuff. I added a little bit of the Stabilo red to her hair, as well as her nose, as well as her lips. She's looking really good. Alright, I let her dry and I'm back. And well, the camera just fell down on my head. So let me get that back together for y'all. And we zoom in and I'm going in here because, I mean, she's kind of a redhead. So I thought she would look beautiful with some green eyes. And I'm just adding a little bit of highlights and a little bit of red from kind of the ink from her hair that picked up on that brush. And I'm just going to add that to the cheeks a little bit of a shadow and shading. And then I still have that third element. So the third element I'm going to do is, I believe this is craft, like craft foam that Erin cut out a flower and sent to me. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool, because I've used one of her foam cutouts as a stencil before, but I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I used it as part of her hair? So that's what is going to be her hair. So I had to gesso it first because it was bright yellow, and I wanted to show y'all, you can use the spray inks here, and I'm going to do the spray inks all over that, just with the wand there, and going to set it off and let it dry a little bit so that we can continue working on it. And I'm going to go in here with a little brush and just kind of make some highlights to the eyes, as well as the little catch light that's in there, and a little bit at the bottom for a little bit of white to bring in the live emotions and thoughts through our little girl. A lot of times those pops of whites and things is a really good way to kind of add some lifeness to, a one-dimensional product. Just going to add a little bit of white for a highlight on her lip. Kind of smush it out with my finger. Just giving her a little bit of highlights around her nose. Right along the edge of her face. And using that, your finger to kind of smush it and move it around as you see it. And just going in ever so lightly to just make those very final decisions about it. Now we still need to add that flower to the hair. So I'm going to use my gel medium. This one is by Deco Arts. And I was kind of deciding how should I do it, and which looked the best. And I couldn't decide, so I'm kind of moving it around. I took a picture, looked at it, rotated it, moved it a little bit. Sometimes it's not very obvious, but most of the time it's going to be the place where you first started. At least that's what happens for me. And now I've got three of the pieces from the flow, and I'm taking a little bit of like a buffing block, like a sanding block, and just seeing if I can rub through and rub any of those layers of the music out more, and I wasn't able to, so I'm just playing with the blending stump. And I tell you, you could, on faces, you can go back and forth and just tighten them up or loosen them up as much as you want, and you could stay really there all day, it seems like. So I finally decided, okay, I'm pretty happy with how she looks. Now what am I going to do for the other side? So I'm going to go in there with the white gesso, and I pulled this butterfly. I felt like her chin was too long, so I'm going in and making some little modifications to that. And then I wanted to add this butterfly over to the side. I put it over, I moved it to the side, I flipped it around. It was just back and forth. I finally glued the thing over there. So I wanted to go in with a little bit of green because I just thought that the green leaves would be really good with the beautiful red hair. And then I'm just going to go in with some fun leaves to kind of bring a little bit of color to where her flowers are, because I only have the one flower to put into her hair. So, and guys, if you're not, if you haven't checked out Erin's channel, make sure to go over there, see what she's doing with the items that I sent her today in her project, and then also make sure you comment, give us a thumbs up, you know, the normal stuff. Tell all your friends about us. We're wild and crazy women over here. And I'm going in and I wanted to bring a little pop to that flower. So I'm going in with the white gesso and kind of coloring it in. And it's going to make it stand out a little bit more, which I really like. I will add, that's actually Gilder's paste. I was trying to see if I could get any good color with it, but I'm going in, just going to add some highlights on the leaves and so forth with that. I've really enjoyed this project. I encourage everyone to do a flowish journal and kind of make that part of your practice. It does absolutely push you outside of your comfort zone. So I hope that y'all have totally enjoyed what we have done with your Creative Flow project, and that you did enjoy and learn something and were inspired by us. And I'm going in here and I'm just going to add a little bit of the of the yellow, excuse me, right into the middle of that flower. And then I'm going to take a little color shift paint, and I wanted to just put it on a sponge and try to add it for a little variety of color onto the spongy flower that I have there. But I'm finally going to give up and just say it's good enough, because like I say, you could tinker with these guys all day long. And then I'm going to glue that butterfly over to the side because it's about to go into her hair there. And I'm adding just a little dark outline to her hair. And I finally say, okay, it's good enough. I'm just going to glue that butterfly down, add some messy journaling over to the side where I gessoed, and I'm going to call it a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for joining me in this creative flow. This will be the last one, but don't forget to go check out Erin's channel. You can find her links below. Enjoyed you so much today. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, guys, toodaloo.